I'm the training evangelist here at QuoteWerks. You are at the Pain Points webinar series, and our goal with this series is to dive into common business challenges that companies face when creating quotes and proposals. We know your time is valuable, so we keep these webinars fairly short, typically under 30 minutes. We want you to be able to apply these solutions right away, and we want the webinars themselves to be as quick and easy as your quoting process is or will be. Today's webinar pain point topic is about editing data in your quotes, and this is obviously a significant pain point for a lot of companies. For a lot of you, it's a time-consuming process with many steps and something that you feel should be simpler. So we're going to cover how you can streamline this process and take advantage of some of the built-in efficiencies within QuoteWerks. So we'll be addressing the pain point, does manipulating the data in your quote sheet leave you feeling constrained and limited? Well, if it does today, hopefully after this webinar, it won't feel as daunting as it does now. Now, with our webinars, we typically go over the pain point. We then go into the solution that we're presenting here from QuoteWerks. We have a live demo and a Q&A. Now, with that being said, we do have a Q&A box within GoToWebinar. So if you have questions throughout the course of the webinar, go ahead and put those in the questions box or use the raise hand feature in GoToWebinar. And we also have these particular webinars recorded as well. So feel free to share this with your team. I'll send out an email within the next 24 to 48 hours with the recording. Likewise, we have a number of different social accounts: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and more. Definitely would welcome you to follow us on those channels, as we're constantly adding new material, and you might just pick up something that helps you when you're going through and working with QuoteWerks. Now, in today's webinar, we'll be covering the pain point of manipulating data in your quote sheets and how time-consuming that can be. So what we'll be addressing are basically, if you have the ability to answer yes to any of these questions, that's what it's all about today. So are you spending too much time editing your quotes? It can take a lot of time when you have to do it manually and you have to go through and use standard tools. Do you feel like spending too much time making changes based on customer requests? Going in and making a simple change on a 100-line quote might not be that simple. It might take you a significant amount of time, and that's something that we can address here today. Is reorganizing or simply reorganizing the document requiring too many steps? Well, we're going to look to address that and minimize those steps with some of the different tools we're going to give you today. And then, are you having to adjust items one by one instead of doing that in groups? Well, if any of these things sound familiar, then you're in the right place, and we're going to talk about how QuoteWerks can alleviate these different pain points. Now, if it does sound like something you've been through, you certainly know how complex it can be, especially with larger quotes. So again, the question becomes, how can QuoteWerks make things easier? We've got three solutions we're going to review today. And the first solution is sorting and organizing your document. QuoteWerks has a number of features that help you to sort and organize products in your document, whether that's using column sorting, drag and drop, and section headers is also a great way to easily organize your document. And then if you have to go through and find different things in your document, we can use the search functionality to locate specific items as well. Now, just a quick note, there is a help file that's associated with this particular topic. It's the Working with Document Items help file topic. So if you go into the help file and you just type in Working with Document Items, you'll find some information that will supplement what we're reviewing today. The second solution that we're going to be talking about is editing items in groups. This is a great solution if you've got multiple items that need to be updated, or if you've got different changes that need to be made within the document. You can apply multi-line item changes. You can also use price modifiers to update pricing and use different shortcuts to navigate throughout the document. So we'll be talking about this in some detail when we get into our demo. And then navigating effectively or efficiently. We have a number of different functions that you can use, like tab, enter, and arrow keys that can move you through the quote. We also have different hotkeys that you can use to navigate from within certain areas in the quote. And we also have a number of different options for you to just better navigate the system. So we'll be reviewing those today. And when it comes to the different workbook features and shortcuts that we have, there's a lot of them. And a lot of these are going to help you to minimize the amount of time that you're taking up creating quotes and adjusting quotes as well. So we'll cover, I think, all of these today. So applying multi-line changes, price modifiers, section headers, dragging and dropping, column sorting, searching, select special, line item highlighting, tab enter, and arrow keys to navigate and refresh item details as well. So with all of that being said, we're going to hop over into QuoteWerks and we'll show you how these 3 different solutions that we outlined are done in the product. So here I am in QuoteWerks. We've got QuoteWerks web open, and you can see I've got a document where I've gone in and essentially just added a bunch of products into the document itself. Just going to adjust the sizing a little bit so we can see a little bit better. So the first thing that we wanted to talk about, and we've discussed this in our solutions section of the Pain Point webinar, is sorting. So you're able to very quickly and easily sort different items on the document based on different columns. So in order to sort, all you have to do is highlight the items you want to sort. In this case, we'll highlight the entire sheet, and then you're going to click on the associated column header. Now in this case, we can sort by description, manufacturer part number, item type, cost modifier, any of these different fields we can sort by. But I'm going to go ahead and sort by item type because this might be a way that you would use it in your environment. So again, I've selected all the products in the document. I'm going to click on item type, and this is going to give me the ability to sort ascending the selected items by item type. And you can see when I click yes, it does that, and it brings me all of my different line items, and they're now sorted by item type. Now, if I hit the control key and I hit that again, this is going to go ascending, and then control, we can do descending as well. So a lot of different options here. It's actually the shift key, right? So if you want to do ascending, all you have to do is click on the column. If you want to do descending, you just hold the shift key and click on that column. Pretty easy. Additionally, you can drag and drop these different products and headers anywhere on the document. And like I mentioned, you can do the sorting with any of the different fields. So we already talked about sorting by item type, but maybe you want to sort by vendor. Easily done. Just highlight your items and then click on the heading and hit OK or yes. And then you have it highlighted by that. Now, with that being said, again, like I just showed you, you can drag and drop single items. You can drag and drop multiple items. It's really up to you and how you want to navigate around the document. It's very, very simple to do. I'm going to go ahead and sort by vendor one more time here, but I want to make sure that I have all of my products selected. And there we go. Now we have our products selected. So one of the other things that we discussed in the solutions section is the ability to use section headers. And section headers are really good to be able to navigate and break up your document into different sections. So I'm going to go ahead and create a section here for our products by right-clicking on the document and then going to insert section header. We're going to put products as our section header. Now, section headers can be used to organize in a number of different ways. So you can organize it based on the item type, the vendor, maybe a phase of a project. It's really dependent upon how you want to manage your document. Then let's go ahead and put together one for our services as well. So we'll put a header for our services. So right-click again, insert section header. We'll put services. And then we'll put one in for, let's say, our labor and installation as well. Or labor and install. Now, all we have to do is just take our different items here and put them in the right bucket. So, for example, as I mentioned before, you can drag and drop individual items around the document, but you can also select multiple as well. So for example, if I go and select all of my items with product as the item type, I can do that very quickly and easily and just bring those up into my products section. Same thing with my other line items. So this managed service, for example, we can bring down into our labor and into our services section. And then we can bring our labor down into our labor and install. And again, we're just using the drag and drop function to organize our products into their respective categories. Now, additionally, we might want to say move 2 of these items down to the bottom of the document, and we'll call those our optional items. So insert section header, optional items. Looks like we had an issue inserting it there. Let me try again. All right. Not sure why that's happening, but needless to say, you can see that we have all of our different section headers and we have everything in the correct area. Now, with that being said, I wanted to also show you that you can sort products within section headers as well. So if you left click on a particular line and then select another product or service above or below it, you can then go and sort by the different columns here as well. So for example, if we wanted to sort by vendor, you just click on the vendor column and it's just going to sort the items that we have in our product section here. And you can do that for any of yours. So services as well. You can just go in there, click on the vendor column and hit yes, and that goes ahead and brings them up. Now, additionally, we do support cut, copy, and paste as well. So if you don't want to necessarily drag and drop things around the document, you can right-click, cut, copy, or paste those and move those around that way if you prefer to do it in that manner instead. And additionally, in being able to move things around, we can also do a search as well. So if you do Control F, your native browser search function will give us the ability to type in and find specific lines on the quote. But there's actually a little bit more of an advanced feature that we have in just a moment that we'll show you, which is going in and using Select Special, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, I did show you that you can drag and drop items. I just also want to mention the fact that all the different fields that we have in here are completely editable on the fly. So if we wanted to go in and change quantity, manufacturer part number, we want to change something in the description, we can do that just by clicking on the different cells and adjusting the inputs there. I had a question here. Is it possible to do subtotals by section? And yes, it is, Tony. Actually, one of the great things about section headers is it actually provides you with a total for that section at the top. So if you see here for products, this sum here is a sum of all the products below it. But if we wanted to, we could add a subtotal. So for example, if we get the last line in this particular section, right-click and go to Add, we can add a subtotal line, and that gets inserted directly into the document. Now, for some reason that did not want to work for me, but I do promise to you that if you went to add and subtotals, that should add a subtotal line in there for you. For some reason, it's not wanting to work for me, as it always does during a demo, right? But yes, that's how you would go ahead and add a subtotal line. In addition to adding subtotal lines, just to show you this menu here, the right-click menu, you can insert blank lines, comments, headings, section headers, or add in all of these different lines as well. So you can do a subtotal, a formula, a running subtotal, summary line. There's really a lot of different options that you have here for different types of lines. I just really picked out the section headers today because that's really the main way that you can organize your documents. But subtotals, running subtotals, discount lines, charge lines are all important. And thanks for pointing that out, Tony. So sorry that the subtotal line didn't enter in there, but just again, know that if you go right-click, add subtotal, that should add a subtotal line for you right in here. Now, we can come in and, like I said, adjust any of these different fields. So let's say we wanted to adjust a price modifier on a single item. We can do that, and we can use this drop-down list to do so. Bear with me for one quick second. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh. All right, here we are back in our document. One of the other things that is really great about being able to manipulate products in your document is that you can make updates to different lines in mass, and that's by using the multi-line change feature. So perfect example of that would be, let's say that you wanted to change the markup on a particular product. You wanted to change the price modifier or a certain group of products. So let's say we wanted to change the markup on our products here, and we could do that by highlighting all of the different lines, right-clicking, and going to apply multi-line changes. Now again, this is an ability to essentially change any of the different fields that we have in the Quote Workbook at once for all of those different options. So for example, if we wanted to change that price modifier, all we'd have to do is find price modifier in here, and then we can change it to whatever we want. So it could be, let's say, P10 for 10% profit. And you can see all of those have now been updated to P10. Now, if we wanted to change different fields, we could as well. So for example, quantity base or the quantity, we can change that as well. And there's a number of ways to do that. You can see these different shortcut options that we have. So if we wanted to say add, let's say 3 more to all of these, we just do ++3, and that's going to go ahead and add the quantity of 3 to all of them. And this again is a great option because you might have a customer that comes to you and says, you know, I currently have 2 of these on the quote, I've got 6 of those, I've got 8 of those, I need to add an additional 3 to all of them. This is a great way to just go in and quickly do that. And additionally, if you wanted to subtract, you could just go -- and then the number and hit apply. You'll see that brings our number back down to 1. Now, you may have a particular vendor that you're working with. You might have special pricing, shipping rates that have been negotiated. So another way that you might want to do this is to come down and say change the vendor for a number of different lines. And we can use that same multi-line feature to do that. So highlighting those products, right-clicking, going to apply, multi-line changes. In this case, we would choose the vendor column. And we can change that to whatever we want it to be. So let's say we want to change it to TD Synnex. We could do that easily here, apply, and you see that TD Synnex has been updated for all those different products. Now, to take it a step further, you may be in the document and have a certain number of line items that you want to first find and then update, and we can do that here as well. So for example, if we wanted to, we could come in and use what we call select special. So for example, here we've got the edit menu or the right-click menu. You can find select special on both of those. And select special is going to give you the ability to essentially find all of the lines within a particular row or a particular column, I should say, that contain that are equal to, not equal to a particular value. So what we could do here, for example, is we could say description, show me anything that contains warranty, because maybe we want to adjust our pricing for warranty. We'll hit OK, and you'll see that it actually highlights all of the different lines that has warranty in the description. Now, we happen to know that 2 of these products are not warranties, but actually products. So we'll deselect those and we'll come down to our warranties, and you can see we've got our warranties selected. We might want to say apply now a multi-line change to that, and we can do you know, whatever we would want with those. Again, let's say we want to just set a flat rate for the price. We go to unit price, and let's say we just wanted to make a $1,500 flat unit price for all those products. We can do that right there. Very simple, very easy to do. Now you can also change all of these on the fly as well. I think I've noted to you. So clicking in the description is going to open up the description rich text box here if you have rich text enabled. And you can then change that description. There's a 32,000 character limit here, so you can make it a short description, long description, verbose description, however you want it to be. It can be done that way. Now, a couple other things that I want to just mention here during the webinar is we talked about navigating effectively through the document. It is easy for you to, again, click into different fields and adjust them on the fly, but you do have the ability to use different keys on the keyboard as well in order to do so. So for example, right now I'm just using my arrow key, and it's quickly bringing me across these different fields. And I just noticed that I adjusted my quantities to a negative amount, which is not a good thing. So let me go ahead and really change that here real quick by applying multi-line changes. We'll go to quantity base. We'll just make these 2 instead of -2. And you can see I was reapplied there. Sorry for that. So as I mentioned, you can navigate through the document using the arrow keys. You can also use tab, and that's going to bring you across these different cells. And then also if you do enter, enter will bring you down a cell. So tab, enter, and the arrow keys are a great way to be able to quickly navigate throughout the document. Additionally, this is just kind of a normal thing on Windows, but if you want, you can also come in and use the home and end buttons to get to the beginning or end of description. So for example, we're here in the description field. We can use home or end to go from the beginning or the end of the text, which makes it very easy to navigate around. And then there's also a number of different shortcuts as well. So for example, I'm going to go over a couple of them, but if you wanted, you can go and look at the edit menu. You'll see there's a bunch of them that are listed here. You've got your standard cut, copy, paste, insert, paste, select all, select special, and you can even open edit line attributes with a quick keyboard shortcut. But I just want to show you a couple of them. So first one would be Control A. Control A is going to select all of the different items in the document, or select all. So that's a really good thing if you want to say copy and paste these into a different document. You just select all, copy, open a new document, and you can just Control V to paste it into this other document if that's what you want to do. All right. Additionally, you can do Control B. That's going to go ahead and insert, or actually add, a blank line. So if you're wanting to add additional products, you can use the Control B shortcut to just go ahead and add a blank line. We also have Control I, which will insert a blank line. And then we also have Control R, which is going to edit line attributes, which is also done via this A button here on the standard toolbar. In addition to those as well, we have Control Y and Control Z for redo and undo. And then again, we've got line attributes. If you're not familiar with line attributes, these control the different pieces or components of the line itself. Typically, you would go and right-click and then go to Edit Line Attributes, but you can also select the lines that you wish to control, and then Control R, and that'll open line attributes for you. And you can also use the quick shortcut keys here on the grid toolbar as well. All right, so that I know is a lot of quick information. We went through it, and obviously the whole purpose of this is to give you some features that can help you save time when you're making document changes. You'll be able to move around the document a little bit quicker and more efficiently if you use some of these tools that we have here. With that being said, I don't see any other questions that are coming in, but if you do have any questions, please go ahead and drop them in the questions box. This concludes the demo portion of the presentation. I just want to, before we go, highlight a number of different resources that are available to you. As I mentioned, all of this information that we reviewed today is also in our help documentation. That's a really great resource for you if you want to learn how to use QuoteWerks a little bit better. Additionally, we always have our free trials. We have a number of different videos. I typically do 4 to 5 webinars a month as well, so keep an eye out for those. We'd love to have you join for future webinars. We also have a number of different services here as well if you need some help with different parts of the QuoteWerks software. And then I always like to say the best resource that we have here at QuoteWerks is our people. So don't hesitate to reach out. We've got our phone and email support, as well as our sales team here as well. And if you have any questions or anything that you want to address that's not support or sales related, we also have community@quoteworks.com as well. So I haven't seen any questions come in. We're getting kind of close to the top of the hour. I don't really have much more to share with you today. So with all that considered, I'll thank you here for being here today. And if you have, again, any questions or follow-ups to this webinar, just send them over to community@quoteworks.com. Thanks for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.